already and becoming wealthy. And the wonderful thing is they're not complicated. In order to become a millionaire, you have to become a completely different person. You have to develop character beyond 99% of the people in the world. You have to develop honesty and discipline and quality relationships and the willingness and the ability to work and set priorities and all kinds of stuff, because without that, nothing is possible. It's the first one of all is dream big dreams. You couldn't believe it. Every single person who finally made it's at the turning point in their life. They were driving down the road of life, not making much progress, which is at the 80-20 rule that you hear. 80% of people make 20% of the money. And I'm sorry, 20% of the people make 80% of the money. And what happens at a certain point in life, they change and go on a different road. And here's the turning point, is making a decision. Make a decision that I'm going to become wealthy per year. Never heard it. And of course, the other side of the coin reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got. I have found in my experience that income does not far exceed personal development. Now, sometimes income takes a lucky jump, but sure enough, unless you grow out where it is, it'll usually come back where you are. Life has strange ways. If somebody hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire quickly, so you get to keep the money. Otherwise, sure enough, it'll disappear. Somebody once said, if you took all the money in the world, divided it up equally among everybody, it would soon all be back in the same pockets. Incredible. Success is something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. Personal development. See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting? The major question to ask on the job is, what are you becoming? See, the big question is not what am I getting paid here? The big question is, what am I becoming here? Because true happiness is not contained in what you get. Happiness is contained in what you become. So that's our major subject for tonight, personal development. Of all the assignments Mr. Schoaf gave me at age 25, this was probably the most difficult. In fact, I'm still working on this one. I think it's an unending challenge to see what you can become. The next subject is called basic laws. And it's good to study the basics. And I call these basics primarily because they come from the Bible. Now, I'm not a theologian or a minister, and that'll be apparent. But Mr. Schoaf taught me that the Bible was a good textbook for ideas and stories and success equations, how to live the better life. I found out that was true. He also taught me that the Bible is as practical as it is spiritual, and I found out that's true. If you look at your bank account and your income and you're not happy, there are several places in the Bible to check to see what the heck's wrong so you can make the changes. And we're going to cover some of those tonight, called basics. Okay, the next subject is my favorite, setting goals. Mr. Schoaf taught me how to set goals. What a favor that was. One morning at breakfast, shortly after I met him, he said, Jim, let me see your current list of goals, and let's go over them and talk about them. He said, maybe that's the best way I can help you get a better direction started. And I said, I don't have a list. He said, well, is it out in the car or home somewhere? I said, no, sir. I don't have a list anywhere. He said, well, young man, that's where we got to start. He said, I can tell you right now, if you don't have a list of your goals with you, he said, I can guess your bank balance within a few $100s, which he did. And that got my attention. I said, you mean my bank balance would change if I had a list of goals? He said, drastically. That day, I became a willing student how to set goals. And sure enough, learning how to set goals changed my life. And I often wondered why no one had ever taught me how to set goals up until age 25. I went to high school, but if they offered it, I missed it. I went to college for a year, never heard it. I worked for Sears. Really? And to my knowledge, Sears never taught it, right? How to set goals. So here I am, age 25, married, my family's starting, I've been to college, I'm working, and I still don't know how to set goals. But fortunately, when I was 25, I met the man who taught me how, and it revolutionized my whole life. Economically, socially, personally, it's incredible. So I want to share with you tonight what Mr. Shove shared with me, how to set goals. It can be a life changer. Okay, the next subject is the negative part of the seminar. Life is part negative, so we got to talk about the negative. And this subject is called diseases of attitude. Diseases of attitude. There's a lot of things that can wreck your chances to do well. We live in a rather dangerous world, so you got to be not only wise, you got to be careful. Now, attitude diseases are just as bad as physical diseases, right? High blood pressure, heart trouble. I mean, a lot of things lace your chances to do well. So you've got to be careful. And attitude diseases are deadly. I mean, they'll destroy all the good things you start. Okay? So we'll go through those attitude diseases, how to spot them, how to look for them, what they are, and the cure. And I'm a pro on these because I've had them all, so I can give you excellent advice on these.
What's going on, man? Yes. Jump Peters, welcome back to the channel. Sorry it took so long. Had some monitor issues. Let's see. Take this down. All right. So we're at 63.46. You know what? Let's pull up the regular cues. Man, I think we're topping out, man. I don't like predicting, but everything in me tells me we've hit the top of the market cycle for this little run. I just obviously market can do what it wants to do. This is stage 2, by the way, on the 5-minute chart. That's pretty classic money flow. Stage 3, stage 1, stage 1. What in the fuck, dude? Jesus fuck. Sorry, I'm having some monitor issues here today. I had switched out monitors earlier and then it kind of fucked up everything. Stage 1, 1, and then 3, and then we have a breakout going right now. So that's on the 5-minute. And the 5 minutes, not a bad chart to trade on. It's fast. You know, it's not as fast as a 1 minute. You know, but it's a good one to, you know, if you don't have a lot of time to trade on. So we see we're marching up. Now, if the 5-minute is still, and again, you can apply this to a daily. So if you want to fast track learning the money flow, you know, do a little day trading, paper trading, you'll fast forward. We could add if it goes above this. So if we get a breakout, a price above that zone, because of the alignment of the, shit, I might do it right now. Because of the alignment on the 5-minute, we could do that.
Now, the last subject we're going to consider tonight is called the day that turns your life around. The day that turns your life around. And under this subject, we're going to talk about the emotions that can change your life. Human beings are emotional creatures, and emotions are powerful for life change. Now, of course, emotions are so powerful, they can go either way on you. Emotions can either build or destroy. So you really have to employ emotions properly. We call civilization the intelligent management of human emotions. If you can intelligently apply your emotions in the right direction, no telling what can happen. Could turn your life around one day would be sufficient. So we'll talk about those. Okay. Now that's a lot to cover in one evening, but we'll keep at it here and see if we can't get it all done.
Boom. Nice break and run here. A little bit of a fucking delay on stock charts. Let me see if yeah, it's flying. I don't know. God damn, the delay's been so bad recently. So there we go. Nice run here, man. Remember what I was just saying right there. So look, I just said if time continuity. So if I go look, if I go and I look and the 5 minute is set up and it's a state, it's right there, then I can kind of use that information to play here. So, I drew the line. I'm like, hey, if price gets above that, you could add to the trade that you've taken down because it hit the RSI here and here, and then it just does it picture perfect. We'll see if it keeps running here. Come on, man. This motherfucker. So here and here, and then now we hit it again, right? And look, we talked about this a lot. When the RSI works off, it's setting up for another run. And then, so that was why I said, hey, if you can use, it pulls back into the 20, you could set a little order, or you could just be ready to click it when it jumps above that to add to the trade. And then boom, you'd have had to been fast, but it hit it again. I didn't even fucking ring the register because I'm sitting there talking. Talked about this yesterday. The essential principles of trading. Number one is to let profits run. Let profits run. Let profits run. And that's what we were trying to do there. So let me put this back up. If you don't know, June 1st, I'm doing a beginner swing trading course, Mastering Swing Trading the Money Flow Way. Tickets are only $49. So let's see, check that out. Let's get back to this. Oh, come on, man. I think we're still going to get it. I mean, look at this pattern. This is such a classic money flow pattern on the 5 minute. And look, there's still room. So when I drop down to this daily, it's like, fuck, I don't want to believe it's over here. So same thing applies. If this thing pulled back to the 20 again, I can. Look, I could put a little thing here and I could get back in this mofo. I could put my money back on, and look, we're running again. So it did it faster than I could. So some of this is just how fast can you pull the trigger. And so you want to trade it. You want to trade a time frame that you can pull the trigger effectively. You don't want to be constantly going, oh, I missed it. That means you're trading a time frame that's too fast for you. Here we go running. So we're at 63.63. I haven't trimmed any yet. Just like the other day, I was saying, man, I think it's going back to the open again. Now we're going to run into trouble right up in here. Okay. Guaranteed. When we hit this 200, it's going to go into trouble. And then we're going to get past this. So let's keep an eye on it and see what it does. Come on, Jimmy, take me in. Come on, man.
I'd like to have you now jot down the theme of the seminar. Every seminar should have a theme, I guess. We've got one. It's on some of our literature if you happen to notice it. But if you didn't, for your notes, here it is. The theme of the seminar goes like this. The major key to your better future is you.
Here we go.
That's the theme of our seminar tonight.
63.66.
The major key to your better future is you. And I'd like to have you underline two words just to give it some added punch. Underline the word major and the word you, so that it reads, the major key to your better future is you. Now, my first suggestion is transfer this to a card or something where you can put it up where you can see it every day. Preferably put it up where you can see it at the beginning of the day. Before you go off to put the day together, this is a good phrase just to glance at, to keep in mind as you're putting the day together. It's called the silent seminar. If you'll just let this talk to you during the day, I found it to be tremendously helpful. The major key to your better future is you. For a big share of my life now, I didn't have this one quite figured out. Among a lot of things I didn't have quite figured out. Many things used to puzzle me back in those early days. I used to wonder why two people could work for the same company, one make twice as much money. Now, see, that used to puzzle me. And maybe they were the same age, graduated from the same school, live in the same community, work for the same company, with the same products and the same services. They've got the same traffic, the same problems, and one makes $1,000 a month, the other one makes $2,000 a month. Now that was my puzzling question. Why would this long list be the same and the money twice as much? I asked, what's the difference between $1,000 a month and $2,000 a month? And I don't mean $1,000 a month, right? I can figure that out. But what makes the difference? Why would one person do twice as well, 3 times as well? Speaking economically, now I know there's more than one way to do well. I understand that. But in this little narrow area called compensation, what's the difference? Well, back then, with my faulty thinking, I'm trying to reason it out. I thought, well, maybe time makes some of the difference, right? Some people do better because they have more time.
No.
I used to say, Harold ought to be able to do well. He's got a lot of time. If I had all of Harold's time, I could do well. Now, that's got to be dumb, right?
Confirmation bar is up.
Time. A guy says to me one time, he says, you know, if I had some extra time, I could make some extra money. I said, then forget it. There isn't any extra time. Hey, when the clock strikes 12 midnight, that about wraps it up, right? I mean, you can look around the gongs there for a little more, but it's over. You say to the guy, what are you doing? He said, I'm looking for extra time. See, they'll come and take you away, right? There isn't any more time. Now, if you can't get more time, which you can't, what could you get more of that would make a difference in economic results? And here's the key word. Make it a part of your notes. We're going to consider it tonight. The word is value. And I have a little phrase for your notes. Value makes the difference in results. Value makes the difference. You can't get more time, but you can create more value. Now, here's the first lesson of economics. Everybody should learn it from the time they're old enough to understand what a dollar means, how to earn one, how to get one, how to keep one, what to do with it.
We're pushing back above the 20.
First lesson of economics.
I'm going to add shares here.
Primarily get paid for value. That's lesson 1. Bringing value to the marketplace. That's how you get paid. You don't get paid for the time. I know it takes time to bring value to the marketplace, but you get paid for the value, not the time. Now, since that's true, here's one of the key questions of the evening. Is it possible to become twice as valuable at the marketplace and make twice as much money in the same time? Could you become 3 times as valuable? Make 3 times as much money in the same time? Is that possible? The answer is yes, if. And it's always if, right? Life is known as the big if. Harry Truman once said, life is iffy. How true. And here's the big if we're going to consider it tonight. It's possible to do much better at the marketplace if you go to work primarily on yourself. And that's the theme of our seminar tonight. Learning to work primarily on yourself. People have asked me for the last 24 years, how do you develop an above average income? And the answer is, become an above average person. Develop an above average handshake. Some people want to be successful. They don't even work on their handshake. As easy as that would be to start on. They let it slide. They don't understand. Develop an above average smile. Develop an above average excitement. Develop an above average interest in other people.
Here we go. Should be making a push here for the 64 range. I just added shares a few minutes ago. It's 63. What was it? 63.48. And looking for 64 and 64.60, which is pretty high, but closed. I'm gonna hold these into the close. We'll cover some
of. Gave me probably the greatest clue he gave me when I first met him. He said, Jim, if you want to be wealthy and happy the rest of your life, just learn this.
I'm gonna hold these into the aftermarket because we're still headed higher.
He said, learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job.
Man, that's an important principle right there. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do your job. Or, hey, after your job, just take a fucking break and just sit on a fucking couch and don't do anything for yourself. That way on Monday, you can run back out and keep working on their fucking plan. And then every time it has to do with you, don't do a fucking thing. Just relax and take the day off, man. That's all you got to do. Let's run through. That's a surefire winner's way to be broke. It's pretty easy, man. It's guaranteed too. Let's see. Man, I thought for sure we were going to have a nice little run there. I lost track of time too. That's not cool. I lost track of time. Let's pull this up, man. Anybody? Let's see the comments here. GP podcast. What's up, Crystal? Sugar Lumps. MP. Nick, what's going on? What's going on? So anybody on YouTube, man, if you got any stocks you want me to look at, just let me know. We'll see what's up. We'll see what's up. Let's run through a couple here that let me kind of a nice down day today, huh? You need these down days to refresh so that you get a chance to get back into a trade, man, or to build your position. So we need these down days to make anything happen. Definitely need these down days, man. Yeah, oil trade has not really gone our way. Let's see. Let me check Gush. Got long Gush the other day. Still holding our support zone. So that's cool. Let me pull this up. Let's see. Man, I can't believe I lost track of time that much. Wow. I am slacking. So this is Gush, which is a 2 times leveraged of the S&P oil and gas exploration. So this is a play on actual oil stocks, service stocks. The other one is ERX. And we're kind of caught in a down channel here, right? You can see it, you can draw it. But what we're hoping is this was the stage 1. So I'm taking a shot that it was, and this is my anchor point, right? So that's my anchor point. So I'm trading off of this. Anchor point. And so this price here is still above the anchor point. So it's not much for me to do here. We had some sideways action. That's what I'm looking for. And we'll see what happens. You know, maybe we get stopped out on that one. I don't know. Let's see. What else did we just get into? What was a couple? What was the other one we just got into? Let me see. What was the other one? I don't know if anybody in the MFGs on here remembers what was this other one we got into. Somebody said lift the nuts. Let's look at the nuts. I like this Krispy Kreme play. I'm slowly building this one. Hold on. Yeah, I'm headed down, man. Fuck. Yeah, so I wouldn't touch this. This is, tried to play this stage 1 here. Obviously, it didn't hold, right? So if we look at this, here's my stage 1 box, stage 3 box, right? Stage 1 box. And, we broke it. So now, but the RSI is at a 29, right? So I know price, time, and indicators. I'm looking for confluence. Confluence is the alignment of indicators. And so with the money flow, I use 6. Let's see. And so if we're over here, we know the money flow and the 4 stages of price movement, the stock market goes up as much as 71% of the time. The problem is it's not a straight line. Price can only do one of 3 things: move up, move sideways, or move down. Now, the first person to begin to talk about this was Charles Dow. Yes, that guy, Charles Dow. and his partner, Jones. And you may have heard of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Well, Charles Dow is the creator of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. He was an entrepreneur, stock trader, and he's one of the first guys to start putting out a newsletter. And he would send not necessarily signals, but he would let people out east or west, people out west know what was up because he was based in New York. And so he created this newsletter he would send to people because often they would read about it in the fucking newspaper and it would be too late. So he was using the telegraph, the wire back in the day to put out this newsletter. And from that newsletter, he created an index, kind of like we have the wind, right? So if you're in the money flow, I rank everything based on the wind, one through 7 of the different winds. And he created the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So maybe one day we'll have the money flow wind average or something. Cisco, this is a nice setup. It's on my homework for a B&B trade, bread and butter. It's trading below the 200-day. It's an industrial stock, and it pays a nice dividend. Let's see. Cube is selling off. Just broke the 20. This is a stock I'd like to add to. CubeSmart. CubeSmart is like PSA, which is public storage facility. Public storage. We got more people on YouTube than Instagram. That's usually rare. Public storage. Let's check PA real quick. Is usually. No, what is public storage? God damn, I can't even remember this ticker. What in the fuck? Somebody give me the public storage ticker. I just had a complete brain freeze there. Let's see. Give me just a second. This other one's fucking chirping at my brain too. Then
Mr. Schoaf gave me probably one of the most important clues among so many things he taught me, but this was in those early days. Mr. Schoaf is very kind, but he was also very abrupt.
PSA. Yeah, thank you.
And he had these interesting questions to ask. I'm giving him a little rundown one day on how things hadn't worked out for me. He said, Mr. Owen, I've got the answer for you if you will listen carefully. And listen carefully I did that day and for the next 5 years. If somebody's wealthy and happy, you've got to listen. He said, Jim, I've only known you a short time. But he said, it's already my honest opinion that for things to change for you, you've got to change.
Oh, Bitcoin's getting crushed, dude.
I was looking for.
Fuck. I should have. I had futures contracts and I did not trim them.
On this warm summer evening in Anaheim, California.
That is not good, man. Let's look at Bitcoin real quick. We'll come back to these others. Fucker hit my target and I personally did not trim it. Damn. Now it's coming down. So I may have to take what should have been a winner because I didn't trim it because I got greedy. I should have trimmed it at the target and I did not. It says right there, swing target. I wrote this shit fucking weeks ago when we put this on. And when it hit it on that big ass strong candle, I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait. That worked out well. I was saying last week, if you're in Discord, I don't like to predict tops, but the market is coming down. There's just no money, man. There's no liquidity. There's not enough money to take it higher. Look at the Dow Jones selling off. Boom. Dow Jones was down 605 points. Fuck's sake, man. That's a nice little sell-off if I don't say so myself. We need a nice sell-off, though, so that we can start adding to some of these plays, man. I'm still holding 500 Tqqq shares in the aftermarket. I'm going to unload those tonight, but it was still going up, so I wanted to give it a minute. Apple. We were trading Apple using the AAPX or AAPX. Took profits right here. Price pushes above 188. Traders should trim more shares. That's what it says. If price pushes above 188, traders should trim more shares. So I wrote that last week. If you're in the MFG, you can see my charts that I post publicly inside of Discord. So if you don't know how to do that, just ask, and somebody in Discord will show you how to do it. Yeah. So if you're a trader, look at this doji. Jesus fuck, man. This is the AAPX. This is the 2 times Apple, and notice it only trades for $20. That means anybody can then trade it. If you're not trading those, you must not have any, one advantage to having people around you or people you can talk to is that you get to learn these things, man. So, instead of not knowing, you could know. And if knowing is a good thing. AG&C's come down. I drew this last week. We put this on here and said, hey, I expect to pull back. It should probably pull back to the 20 or so, which is what it's doing. I don't know that it goes much lower. I don't know, maybe. AI closing below, right at support. I don't know. We'll see what AI does, but it's now going into what appears to be stage 4 decline. That sucks. Let's see. Air, time to take profit. Look what I said right there. Holy fuck, that looks like the absolute high. No, not the absolute high. I'm sorry. I said take profits at $72.25. It pushed a little bit higher, but it looks like the fucking high to me. And that what we call the anchor point. And this is where I sent out the message saying we should get in. If you're in Discord with me or on my tech service or trading with me in any way. And the reason I bought this one is it's doing perfect money flow thing. But hey, who's got time to make fucking money if you could just take the weekend off and do nothing? Let's see. Woo, this AIYY, pretty, I don't know, 60, 70% dividend yield. It is tracking and following AI, so it's going to come down with the stock. Okay. That's those new Yield Max funds. We'll see how those do. Bristol Myers just keeps going down, man. This shocks me. I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised by this move. Here soon. God damn. We got to get in on it because it's just gone down too far. I don't know. I guess the stock market hates it. That's all I can say. What do you guys got? Do you trade Bitcoin futures on E-Trade? I tried, man. It's too difficult. They don't make it easy. Coinbase, you can now trade futures on Coinbase. You can't do it from your phone. You can't do it from the phone, okay? You got to do the web. How much is the webinar? Man, click the fucking link. It ain't much, dude. It's like the price of lunch, okay? Do you trade Bitcoin? Yeah, though we just said that. Let's put that on there. Do you trade Bitcoin on the futures? I saved these on YouTube, by the way. My man Daniel says, do you trade Bitcoin futures on E-Trade? I did try doing it. I don't like the way E-Trade does it. It's very it's very discombobulated. It's just not very good. You can trade them on you can now trade them on Coinbase. Otto got his fair value gaps marked up. You can trade it on Coinbase. Where are we at here? Oh, this is some of this, by the way, I'll come back to it, but this is some of the stuff we're going to be covering on the webinar on June 1st is what is swing trading compared to position trading. A lot of people are not trading what they think they're trading. Like they think they're trading a certain way and they're not. There's a big difference between day trading and buy and hold. There's a big difference between portfolio management where you're rolling profits forward. You're rolling it forward, which means you're trimming stage 3s and adding on stage 1s. And we'll probably get into that in the seminar. How much money do you need to start trading? Actually, zero. What about charts? We'll get into charts and indicators and my point of view on those. Best way, I think, to bank profits when to close a swing trade. Position sizing is super important. I was talking yesterday that the essential concepts to trading, there's only 5 of them. Ride winners, in other words, let your profits run. Cut losers, that's pretty self-evident. I was chatting with someone today, and I said, why don't you just sell that? And they said, well, I'm down 5,000. Keeping a position because you're down is for fuck retards, okay? If you're doing that, that's what you are. Just go in the bathroom, get some lipstick right on your forehead, tard. Just write that so everyone knows that how can you start trading at 0? I'm at that point now. Yeah, it's called open an account, get some stock charts, get a course or a book on some strategy you think you can do, and then start learning. And you paper trade and you develop skills. And then as you do that, the money will come. I'll give you the fucking money if you can trade. If you can show me you're a good trader, I'll give you the money. There's places you can go and you can trade their money, but you got to have skills. So you don't need money to trade. You need money to make money trading. So if you can trade, man. What was this one? Boar. This is one we've been in. Near-term support planning to close. If it breaks this level, we broke, but we came right back into the box. So everyone should know what that means for me. That's a super bullish sign. And then bam. So if you're in boar, it's not quite time to close it yet, even though it did hit the 200. It might have been up in the 680. If you took some down, good for you. You don't need money to make money trading. You need skills. And if you have skills, people will give you money. I'll give you fuckers money if you know how to trade. All right. So trade money is not what you need. It's discipline and skills. That's all you need. Anchor point support stop below this. You can see that. Look at it. Look how cart's just walking the line, man. We'll see if it can hold it. I hate for it to break, but it might. Market's about to come down. This was our trade of the week a couple weeks ago. And yeah, we hit the target. My target looks like the absolute high. So that was pretty cool. Been on fire with these. It was AIR, AIR. That one exploded up. And then our previous trade of the week was Celsius. The current one, I believe, is Gush, I think. I don't know. Person that helps me not on here, so I don't know. Let's see. CLSK. This is a Bitcoin miner. This is probably coming down with Bitcoin. Yeah, hasn't hit any target. So we've just been kind of floating around here. So we'll see what happens. Where are you at? Is Jess on here? Nope. Okay. Hey, YB on. Let's see. Coin is going to follow Bitcoin because why? Bitcoin's the wind. Wherever Bitcoin goes, Bitcoin stocks go. That's the rules. It's called the wind. That's why you want to track it. So here's coin again. We thought it was going to move into an uptrend. That was my direction. Target would be around 280. It has not moved. How do you feel about ARM? Well, I don't have any feelings at all, actually. I don't really give a fuck about that stock, but we'll look at it. We'll see what the money flow says. You're in a stage 2. I don't know, man. You know, if I'm looking at ARM, it's a pretty easy chart here. It's a very jumpy chart. So this was our anchor point. We only know that after we have 4 bars, right? And so I need 1, 2, 3, 4 at least, but I needed to get above the 5-day exponential average. So that happened right in here. So that would have been my initial buy. Over in here's our breakout. That confirms it to me. I start buying some more. But usually I get my buying done right around in here. Now the problem is this is a long fucking ways. That's a hell of a stop loss. Because the way if I'm trading, that's my stop loss. Now, if you're buying and holding or whatever, then there's nothing to do. You just add on stage ones and keep going. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. If I was trading it right here and you said, hey, you got to get long right here, man, I'd have a pretty tight stop right around in there. Looks like the market's coming down, man. There's just not much liquidity in the market right now. So this is coin. This is the 2x leverage to coin. This is CONL. This stock is a 2 times. Yeah, Prospect Capital. I don't know. I'm next. I got long. What was it? AMD. What the fuck? What is it? What is the one I got long? Hold on. Let me check my own goddamn notes. Go to the Peters report. You should keep a trading log. Life worth living is a life worth recording. Let's see. So every Sunday night, if you don't know, on Peters report, I usually do a collective of what happened last week, maybe what I think will happen this week, but I don't really know. So this is my trade log. This isn't updated in real time, but if you're in the MFG, I post it in Discord when I make moves, and I text people that are in there when I make moves, letting you know what moves I'm making. Okay, this last one added to Bitcoin Cash. That's not working out right now. When was that? Fuck, we're like on the 20. I'm behind on this. What's up? CVS made a big down move after breaking the 5-10 exponential moving average. Yeah, people sold it because the market's coming down, man. Let's check that. Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's nothing, bro. That ain't nothing. I wouldn't worry about this. I mean, there's your anchor point right here. Anchor point's your lowest low. You only know in the past, okay? So you don't know the bottom until the bottom is in, which means you don't. I would never buy until I get confirmation that the bottom is in. Almost never. And one of the confirmations, if we're using confluence, we're doing confluence of indicators, the histogram turns around. So you see when it went flat right there? Now, if I'm day trading, I use the 5-day histogram to kind of give me direction. And if you notice, that happened right on the anchor point. This is confluence. And then the TSI started to go sideways. What is that? It's confluence. Now, you see how wide apart these moving averages are? You shouldn't have expected this to do anything. Matter of fact, on that breakout, I would have pretty much been certain that is not going to work. You will almost always see these got to come together and you get a little sideways action. You know, they're just now coming together. So I don't know. I don't think this goes much lower, even if the market sells off. I would wait though to add to it, or I definitely wouldn't sell it. If you got stopped out there, I don't know what you're doing. So if anything, I'd be looking to add to this. Let's see. Oh, CONL was trade of the week. Thank you. Getting killed. I don't know if killed's the right word. But maybe. I think I said something was getting slaughtered. Be careful using those words. It puts some messages in your head. You know, oh, the market's on this, the market's that. And so, well, it's just actually just a down day. Don't try to prescribe too much to it. I am surprised by the WBA one, though. That's just been a brutal assassination. Coney, let's see. Delta. I've been saying for a while I would trim this. Delta is way overpriced. Delta is valued at like $40-something a share. It's trading for 51. I'm gonna be looking to trim more of this. I've been trimming down on Delta. It's my favorite airline, but it is not a $50-something stock. I don't know why it got that high, to be honest. Defense come down. Dow Jones. You know, these are falling on the Dow Jones. The nut. Regional banks getting smashed here too. But look at this area that it stopped in. It's such a sticky zone right here. This is like a supply zone. We'll see if it holds. Nobody talks about banks anymore. ENVX, oh, that's a penny stock. I don't want to talk about penny stocks. ETRN, it's been one that I've promoted for a very long time. The possibility of a takeover bid here. Yeah, I've owned this stock a very long time, and I've tried to get people to stay in, not sell it. I think it's going to eventually work its way to $25. It's a very valuable company, man.
California, 1981. For things to change for you, you've got to change. Otherwise, it isn't going to change. Before I met Mr. Shove, I used to say, I sure hope things will change.
UAN is a fertilizer play. Carl Icahn is in this as well as the MFG. I first came across this, people in the MFG that work there. So one of the great things about having a network of people is sometimes people have jobs and they work places and they can kind of give you insight into things. And I get these kind of insights all the time. It's not insider trading. It's just they work there and they see things. So if you work somewhere and you see that, hey, my company's looking at doing business with this company, you should go look at the charts and see. You might have a play there, man. And if you do, let me know. UAN's fertilizer company, a guy I know worked there. If you go look, insiders are constantly buying the shit out of this. The dividend yield was 30-something% when it was back here, 30-something% dividend yield. So I've just been buying up stage ones. Now it ran. It's close to fair value. I'll be honest, I haven't trimmed any yet. I like it. It's a good stock, man. But the dividend floats. By the way, it floats. Let's check out Lyft real quick. Check out Lyft. Oh my God. God damn. So we're probably coming back down to the 200-day. If I just open up a chart and I look at a chart, and first thing I check is where is price in relation to the moving averages? Where's price? Well, there's the close at 1543. Where's the 5-day? 1602. Where's the 10-day? 1635. Where's the 20? 1665. So look at the numerical alignment. 65, 35, 2. What are all those doing? They're pointing down. So the numerical average is pointing down. The RSI is pointing down. The stock's pointing down. The MACD is pointing down. TSI is pointing down. What direction do you think it's going? Doesn't take a rocket science. It is going down. So would I buy this? No. Why would you buy it if it's going down? Wait till it stops. You say, how do you know it stops? Well, the next day's fucking higher. And then we just need 3 of those plus the anchor day. And then price gets above the 5-day exponential moving average. And we know we got a tradable bottom. Super simple. June 1st, Saturday. I know most of you're really not doing anything. And you're just going to fucking waste your time and do the same dumb shit you did last Saturday. Or you could just sit in on my Mastering Swing Trading, the Money Flow Way class. We're going to do a webinar. Not very expensive. I made it. Everybody can afford it. It is not a big deal. Let's see. So previous support multiple times used to be resistance. See? Very cool. I love it when the charts do that. If this breaks, we're going down to the next one. That's going to be somewhere in this zone here. That's a hell of a drop, though. I hope not. I do. I hope not. Please don't drop. Please. Let's see. Man, I think that's about it, man. Check some bonds. Bonds are still holding in here. I'm trading the TMF. This is the 2x leverage ETN of the bonds. And we'll see. Let's check the actual bonds. TLT. And then you really want to spend some time learning about bonds, man. Let's see. So you can see where the bonds are sitting right at the 200. Interesting place. I would expect bonds to go higher if people thought the market was coming down. So then as soon as it comes down, I got to listen to everybody talk about the fucking VIX. And I hate the VIX. So Candace says she's having her spouse. That's a good idea. Having my spouse pay for my ticket. Oh, yeah. Nice. Nice. Very cool. Let's see. Bonds are sitting right at 200. I don't know. I feel like these hold. I hope so. I've been buying the shit out of them for 3 years now. This bond has been just terrible. Let's back it up to the monthly. Look at this fucking chart. So this is the one that all your people at Human Resources up there are going to be like, well, you should be 60% stocks and 30% bonds based on your age. We can adjust that for your age, and we can. And you go and you sit with a financial advisor who probably has no fucking money, and he's telling you how to invest your money when he has no money. He's just reading from a book or something. So this is a horrific down channel. And I really feel like I really thought this was going to be where we stopped. Man, we're at the 200-month moving average. It's crazy. So bonds have gone from 160. At one point, it was down at 80. That's a 50% fucking drop in bonds. It's the most secure asset in the world. Bonds. American bonds. America. The 20-year plus treasury bond. This is like one of the most active, valuable, traded fucking things on planet Earth. 20-year treasury bond. And it has been just destroyed. So I've been buying the shit. I shouldn't say that. I was buying shit. Now I'm just buying. Let's see. I would encourage you to learn about bonds.
Right? That seemed to be my only hope. If it isn't going to change, I'm in serious trouble. And then I discovered it isn't going to change. So I'm in serious trouble. See, I can tell you what the 80s are going to be like. You have dropped into the right place. I did a seminar one time for Standard Oil executives and management in Honolulu. And we're having a conference one day on this big conference table. And one of them said to me, Mr. Rohn, you know some fairly important people halfway around the world. What do you think the 80s are going to be like? I said, gentlemen, I do know the right people. I can tell you. So they all listened very carefully. And I said, gentlemen, based on my wide experience, I can really honestly say to you, in my opinion, in the 80s, it's going to be about like it's always been. Aren't you glad you came? That's inside. I don't pass that around just everywhere.
You get back down to where we were.
Now, of course, I said that to make a point, but I also said it because it's accurate. It's going to be about like it's always been. It isn't going to change. The tide comes in, and then what?
All right, so we're looking at Ford. This has been a sleeper trade, man. Decent dividend yield, though, but nothing about it I like right now. Yeah, DPS coming down nicely. Need more shares of Uber. We're almost at a 200-day. I know. I'm surprised that it's come down. So we're if you're on Instagram, we're also live on YouTube, and I save these every day. Okay, unless I just say some ridiculously crazy shit, then I don't save it, which could happen any day. Freeport McMoran. This was a sleeper. If you look, this is where the last anchor point. So if you're in the MFG, you can get my charts that I post. This was my last anchor point. And then I said target, previous high target for swing traders. And we hit it. And then you can see what's happened since. So I would not have gotten out of this if I was swing trading it. And that's one thing we're going to talk about. Swing trading isn't about taking the money. And I mean, I would just let it run. There's 5 essentials to trading. Number 1 is let winners run. Don't cut them. You don't know how far it's going to go, and you should not be satisfied with a certain percentage of return. That's crazy. You want as much as possible. And at the same time, you want to cut those losers. If you cannot sell a stock because you're down in it, that makes you stupid, just so you know. I'm trying to think of a more polite word. People don't like when I say the word tard. So let's go with just moron. We'll go with that, moron. So if you're holding a stock and the only reason you're keeping it is because you're down and you think I need to get my money back, yep, you're a moron. You just have to go in the bathroom and write that on your forehead. Like use your lipstick or your wife's lipstick and just write that. That way everyone knows. They know not to listen to you about things. That is not a reason to hold a stock at all. That is not a reason. Nobody cares. It has no value on the stock. It has nothing to do with anything. It's all in your own head. Because you don't need to make the money from that stock or that crypto coin. You could just sell that one and buy one going up. And if you make money, nobody at the bank's going to go, oh, did you make this with that stock? Well, here, you can't deposit that money. But people will hold shit and think they have to make it from the same money. And I know about 70% of you on here are like, damn, he just called me a moron. I did. Because you're doing that. You're holding some shit right now. And the only reason you're holding that fucking stock is you're down in it. So just so you know, that's one of the dumber things you can do. FLNG, this is one we picked up a while back as a BNB trade. I haven't talked much about it. There ain't much to say. And I would be trimming it down now. And we rode this whole wave up, collected dividends. Here was our Doji reversal candle, if you remember. And then bam, as soon as it got in the box, started buying. And here we go. And it has, yeah, I'm telling you, good traders are good losers. So if you can't take a loss, you're not a trader. You're a moron. So you can choose moron or trader. I don't know. And selling a stock just because it's down is not a good reason either. You sell a stock because there's no value in the company and it's not going to go up. It has nothing to do with what you paid for it. Nothing. Trading has nothing to do with what you paid for it. I'm telling you, it's one of the hardest. Once you get this concept, you will be free. This is Goofy, by the way, GOOF. Goofy is the Google Yield Max Google Option Income Strategy Fund. So this has a, I don't know, 35, 40% dividend yield, and it's going straight up. You say, Gerald, say that again. Yeah. So right here was my last ad. Here was my anchor point. How many bars do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I start buying. And what's the dividend yield? It's like 40%. And what has it done? Gone straight up and paying 40%. Who would want that, though, when you could just not have that and go do dumb things on Saturday? Let's see. Here's Gush. We already looked at Gush. Why would you want to make 40% and be in the green? Hasbro, this one's run. Right here it says B&B traders should have sold half the position. We were picking it up back lower. Whenever it hits the 200, that's the trade if you're doing the B&B. Intel, still holding the anchor point. So there's my anchor point right here. The doji. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're just right back to where we were. IWM. Now, here's a way to play the IWM and make a bunch of yield. So that's the IWM, right? Let's go to the IWMY. The IWMY, I think the dividend yield is like 70%. This is the Defiance R2000 and Hint Option Income ETF. That is a lot. Are Tesla options a viable buy right now? Yeah, bro. If you have a girlfriend, go in there, get her lipstick, and right across your head, write moron. Yeah. And then it's a good buy. And then go just buy it. Yeah. Or maybe buy some leaps, man. Do a bunch of other shit you don't understand. Go buy some leaps. Take all of your money, sell your house, and then take out a loan against everything you own and buy like 2-year leaps. That'll work too. Obviously I'm kidding there. Now, I would not be buying options on Tesla. Tesla is trading below the 200. Means it's in a bear market. It tried to rally, and on the breakout, it has sold off since. Okay. So if we're just looking at this chart, it's going straight down. Let's see. Now that's just looking at the chart. Price is now below the 20, below 10, below 5. There's possibly some support in here, but this says sell. The MACD says the momentum is turned to the downside. So would like, I don't know, 10 minutes of chart reading. If you were in my class, you would not do that. So you, sir, should sign up for the June 1st swing trading class, Mastering the Swing Trade. So I can help you, man. Another way to play Tesla, if you like options, would be TSLY. Now, this has about a 60% dividend yield. And because they're trading options on this, it's the Yield Max Tesla Option Income Strategy ETF. So these guys they're trading, they're creating, selling puts and buys or calls and puts to create income. And then the stock follows the price of Tesla. So that's another way to play Tesla. And anything you do, there's more than one way to play it. You just got to think about it. You got to be a player. Let's see. We're saving this on YouTube. I'm sorry, man. I don't know. What I'm seeing from my work is healthcare is under a lot of pressure. Yes, it is. SPY setting up for good tomorrow, Otto. Yes, I think it is too. They are coming out of the Bitcoin Yield Max Fund. Yeah, I'm with Joey on Tesla here. I wouldn't expect a pullback here. Joey says, Tesla, look for a pullback and then a continuation to the downside. Possibly. But yeah, it looks like more downside to me too, sir. J&J, it hit my target. Bam, the 200-day was the target. Anchor point, buy point, target. Boom, hits it. B&B, we're working on this book for this strategy that we do with the B&B. Lockheed Martin has just been printing money, keeps going up. Lyft, we said stage 4 decline. Mara, Marathon Digital Gold Holdings. We've got a few of these. We got an ETF that holds both Mara and CLSK and Riot. So that's a way to play it. MBLY, this is a stock that I'm watching. This is Mulby Global. This is one of these growth companies that may be a player in the future, which is not going to fare well into a market correction. So I got my eyes on you, baby. I'm looking for an entry. Let me put this on here. If you guys get my chart pack, if you're in the MFG and you get my charts, keep an eye on this. Watching for stage 1 entry. This is a new, not new, but new stock for us as far as possibly trying to get an entry. So, man, that's it. I appreciate you guys on Instagram. Don't forget, get signed up. I'm going to cap it here shortly. It
goes out for 6,500 years.
If you don't have any of my books on there, if you get the ones I'm on sale, I'll give you a ticket to the event free. But make sure you read the damn book, man, before you come to the event. I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to check in on YouTube and see if you guys have any more stocks you want me to look at. Appreciate you. Let's see.
We know of recorded history, and probably long before that. So it is not going to change. It gets light, and then what? It turns dark. 6,500 years. See, it's not likely to change. And we're not to be startled by that. And if the sun goes down, the guy says, what's happened? What's happened? It means he hasn't been here long, I guess, right? It always goes down about this time. The guy says, well, I don't like that arrangement. Well, you got to talk to somebody besides me, right? It gets light, then it turns dark. In rotation, the next season after fall is what? Winter. Pray tell, how often does winter follow fall? Every year regularly for the last 6,500 that we know of. See, it is not going to change. Now, some winters are long, and some are short, and some are hard, and some are easy, but they always...
It's worthwhile. And
yeah, we've been good. Hopefully, I'm gonna look at adding tonight to I'm gonna look at adding here to Bitcoin Cash if this holds. So just wanted to leave you guys with this one. If this holds, then I'm gonna look to add to this. Just let you know, I have a pretty damn large position in this, so. Then oh, Skylar said Meta. Let me look at Meta real quick, man. Yeah, I like Meta. And if I was going to play Meta, I'm also, for the dividend side, might pick up a little of this FBY. And whatever the, hold on, shit. And then whatever, yeah, I know. I'm hoping it does run to 700 so I can unload some of. I bought a lot of Bitcoin Cash, man. And hopefully, yeah, click that link. I saved it up there if you guys want to get in on this. There's also, isn't there? Yeah, there's a 2 or 3x for Facebook on, let me check that. Leverage single stock. Yeah, FBL. So FBL is another one. So I have all these in a folder. These 2x, 3, single stock leverage FBL. So the Granite shares 2x long Meta daily. So this is a 2x. So that's a cheaper way of playing it as far as your money. And for me, I use these leverage because it allows me to put more trades out there, more poles in the water, so to speak. Hope that helps, man. I really do appreciate you guys trading with me. And, we'll go from there, man.
Happen overnight. It's not a sudden leap that gets splashed across the headlines. Instead, it's the result of steady, consistent progress over time. And the best part? This is something that everyone can achieve if they're willing to put in the effort and stay committed to their goals. But the people who are doing really well did it incrementally. It's not usually a sudden big leap. Instead, it happens gradually, step by step. There's something called the law of incremental improvement, or the law of accumulation, which basically means that every big success is actually the result of many small efforts that add up over time. These efforts are like tiny snowflakes that come together to form a big snowball. You see, over the years, successful people become more and more productive. They keep building on their efforts, little by little.